What's up, boys and gals? Get up, and get amplified. It's time for the Smackdown review, the Valentine's Day edition for February 14th, 2020. A lot to talk about, like the immortal Hulk Hogan cutting a promo with Bray Wyatt. Man, did that bring the child out of the amplified, man. That brought me back to the day if only Hulk Hogan was in his prime to do a feud with Bray Wyatt. Oh man, goosebumps! If only we could go back in time. We're also gonna talk Carmella having a damn good title match? I'm sorry, am I hearing myself correctly? Carmella had a damn good title match? This can't be true, could it be? Oh, we're gonna discuss. Also, this mystery man that Roman Reigns brought last night to take on Miz and Morrison. Was it really a mystery man? Or was it absolutely BS? We're gonna talk about it. And of course, Otis getting crushed. I think in one moment, Dolph Ziggler became the most hated man anyway, in all of pro wrestling. In one moment, when he swooped in on Otis's date, Mandy Rose. We'll talk about all of that. First, I want to talk about Monday Night Raw for a second, and more specifically, Matt Hardy. We all knew what was happening when Randy Orton did what he did to Matt Hardy on Monday. And then after Raw went off the air, what we originally thought, or at least most of us, those of us that are in the know, and we know about the contract situation of Matt Hardy, we knew what that was Monday. And when Raw went off the air, all the reputable sources indeed confirmed that was the last time you're seeing Hardy in a WWE ring for years. His contract ends on March 1st. That was the way to write him off of TV and out of WWE. And if you needed any more confirmation, 25 minutes after Raw went off the air, Matt Hardy went on social media and actually put goodbye to all of his fans of WWE and for now. Of course, we all knew he was going to show up in AEW. But the contract isn't actually up until March 1st. So the old man in Stamford, Connecticut, he's going back on his original plans. Gee, there's a first. The old man makes a huge mistake and he has to backtrack. He saw how much value Matt Hardy still has when Hardy made all the headlines this week after that segment. He saw the ratings. The Hardy-Orton segment brought in another 221,000 viewers. It was the most or highest rated segment that brought in the most new viewers. The only one second to that was a distant second, and that was Becky Lynch Asuka. They brought in 95,000 new viewers. And that was at the jump of the show, the first half an hour of Raw. So that's more to be expected. And again, that was only 95,000. Orton and Hardy brought in over 220,000 new viewers. Vince McMahon saw all of that. The suits and ties saw all of that, and they said, uh-oh, wait, we can't let this guy just walk away now, hotter than ever. We gotta use him again. We gotta make sure that everybody knows that it's Orton that's tooling on this dude. So they're actually bringing Matt Hardy back this Monday for a no-holds-barred contest with Randy Orton. They went from writing him off TV and letting him ride off into the sunset into AEW. They went from doing that angle Monday to now seeing how much value Matt Hardy still has, so they're going to use him again. And obviously, this is for Orton to tool on him. Unless they're out offering Matt Hardy some sweet money and a whole hell of a lot of creative control. Then maybe Hardy re-signs with WWE. But you have to believe his mind was already made up, unless again Vince McMahon offered him a sweet pile of gold, a pot of gold. But Hardy's coming back this Monday after saying goodbye 25 minutes after Raw went off the air last Monday. That's what the old man does. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. He doesn't even realize he's about to make a catastrophic mistake. Do you realize how stupid this makes Edge look? Edge took that shot by Orton and he's gone for weeks. Hardy takes it. 25 minutes later, he's tweeting. And 6 nights later, a full week later, what am I saying? The news broke the next day. But a week later, he's going to be having a no-holds-barred match with Randy Orton. Edge is still on the shelf. It was the same chair shot. That's what I mean. You know for a fact that was supposed to write Hardy out of WWE, but WWE is not even going along with their own booking. They're taking logic and common sense out of it. This guy just had a career-threatening injury, but we're going to have him wrestle in a no-holds-barred contest Monday. Hardy already said goodbye. Every reputable source already said that was it. His contract ends March 1st. We know that was supposed to be the finale, and I would have been fine with that. Not saying that we don't want to see Hardy Monday competing, but we already know that the story is now broken and you're making Edge in the process look like a joke. All because you screwed up. Now you're starting to realize the value in Matt Hardy. You didn't realize the value that Matt Hardy has in the years that he's been there. Now that he's about to leave and he's making all the headlines and his segment on Monday was the highest rated for new coming viewers, now all of a sudden you don't want to let him go. Now you're going to use him immediately 7 nights later in a no-holds-barred match. You gotta believe this is where Edge might come back, interfere, maybe possibly at the end of the match or whatnot. But you have to believe that Orton is gonna finally do Matt Hardy in once and for all on Monday. But again, it just doesn't make sense, and it makes Monday's segment absolutely useless now. If he did it, and it's the same fate that Edge suffered, and they're gone for a while, then that makes sense. And this even catapults Matt Hardy to AEW. But if you do that type of segment, and then he's there 1 week later having a no-holds-barred match, or 25 minutes later he's on social media saying goodbye, so that was so devastating, but I'm on social media. That's what I mean. You're now taking the logic and common sense out of it. How the hell is Edge that banged up when Matt Hardy's up and going? So what I mean, you put all your eggs in one basket, you think you got all the right answers, you don't want to consult with anybody, you don't see the value in somebody on your roster until it's too late, and the fans told you how valuable he is, and then you're like, shoot, he's leaving in 2 weeks. He's going to show up to AEW with all this momentum. So Vince panics, and now he's going to give him the stage yet again. And Matt Hardy, because he's so damn good, not just wrestling skill-wise, but just as a character, he's so damn good, he'll probably get more momentum this Monday. It'll probably backfire again on Vince McMahon. And then what? Hardy gets totally destroyed this upcoming Monday, and then Vince brings him back one more Monday, because I still have him for 2 more weeks. It's not March 1st yet. His contract is not up, and he still belongs to me. That's how Vince looks at it. Oh, that thing, man. It just irritates me. Because if they just thought about this from the beginning, if you just saw the value in somebody like Matt Hardy, give him what he deserves, not just money, but creative control, give him the legit push in the character that he wants to portray, you'd be sitting on gold. The company would be making more business. Again, a Hardy segment was the highest rated for incoming viewers. 221,000 viewers came in for that segment. Nobody was close. Asuka and Becky, 95,000. Third was the Humberto and Garza segment at just over 70,000 new viewers. So that shows you that Humberto and Garza is also gaining interest. Those are your top 3. So we're going from that badass segment that should put somebody on the shelf. For Hardy, he was actually leaving WWE, but at the very least, it puts you on the shelf. If you're going to go on a vacation or you got a wellness policy suspension, that type of chair shot puts you on the shelf. Here, Hardy's just coming back a week later because Vince McMahon screwed up. He realizes now what he's about to lose to AEW. And in the process, the story becomes stupid, as Ryback would say. Anyway, that's my big pet peeve, and that's my opening monologue, guys. Expect to see Hardy this Monday. We love Hardy. Usually we like to see Hardy. But when you're breaking a storyline like this, and when it's because Vince refuses to just think logically, lately, as in years, it's stupid. It's absolutely dumb. Anyway, we'll see what they have planned for Matt Hardy Monday. I can only expect Hardy to be absolutely tooled on, and Vince McMahon to try to make everybody see that it's Orton that's the powerhouse and Hardy was a weak link. When in reality, we're probably going to look at Orton as that powerhouse, but we're also going to say, damn, Hardy is so damn good. It's going to backfire again on Vince. Who knows? Maybe as we speak right now, Vince McMahon is offering Matt Hardy the world to keep him away from AEW. Now, SmackDown, February 14th, 2020. We kick off with a moment of bliss. It's Alexa and Nikki Cross trying to be comedians, but they found out the hard way that comedy routine is not an easy shtick. You could tell there were several times in their shtick that they were just thinking, can this please be over? Luckily, Carmella saved them. Carmella comes out. She starts talking that game, but it's Bayley that comes out to include herself in the conversation. Bayley talks that trash to Mella until Carmella had enough, stands up in Bayley's face, and says, and I quote, how about I put my money where my mouth is and we do this right now? Carmella hits the ring, and after a commercial, we're actually getting Carmella versus Bayley for the title now. So Carmella takes the title shot that she earned last week, and she uses it almost immediately 1 week later. On one hand, I was kind of like, all right, good, let's get this over with. Right? I mean, how many of us really need to see Bayley and Carmella anyway? But, on the other hand, if I'm being totally truthful as I always am with you guys, this match was actually way more entertaining than I was anticipating. And Carmella had one of her best matches ever on the main roster. I'm going to say that again for those of you that missed SmackDown, because I know there's a lot of you guys that don't watch the show, you just watch the Amplified, man. I appreciate that, by the way, for trusting me to be your number one source for the reviews. I thank you tremendously. But I'm telling you right now, Carmella had one of her best matches on the main roster, and it came at a crucial time when there was a title on the line. And Carmella just looked, the confidence was on another level. She was on some Bianca Belair confidence. You guys know how high I am on Bianca more than ever before from NXT, because lately Bianca Belair is fucking with a confidence level that I've never seen before. Carmella, I'm not saying she was on that level, but she was playing around with some confidence that I haven't seen in her before. Towards the end of this thing, Carmella hit 3 nice stiff forearms, showing a great physicality. She went for a 4th stiff forearm, but Bayley caught her with the Bayley to belly. It was just a great sequence, I felt. Carmella then hits a Frankensteiner from the top rope, then hits the super kick, but Bayley's able to crawl to the outside. And if you looked at the look of desperation from Carmella, it was sold beautifully. It's like Carmella knew that Frankensteiner super kick combo was her best chance to win that championship, unless she can get the code of silence on, the submission move. But she knew that super kick was it, and Bayley found a way to crawl out, and Carmella tried to grab her before she fell to the outside, and the look on Carmella's face was like, damn it! She literally slipped through my hands. The title slipped through my fingers. And it was just great selling by Carmella as well, not just her wrestling last night. After that, there was an attempt at code of silence that was locked in pretty good on Bayley, but Bayley was able to grab the upper hand. First, she actually swooped the arm of Carmella, and that's how she broke out of code of silence. I thought that was cool. And then that led into Bayley using the ropes as leverage, and Bayley pinned Carmella, keeping her championship via that win. So again, she used the ropes for leverage, but a win is a win is a win. Carmella ends up the loser. But in all honesty, she's a little bit of a winner in my book. Because again, I believe that was the best Carmella match, one-on-one, that I have ever seen her put on. So that is really awesome to say. And that's for anyone saying, see, I'm just negative on certain people. No, I just know what they're capable of, and I want to see the best out of them. If Carmella is going to fuck with that type of skill level, that type of confidence, if she's going to sell like that, if the mannerisms and those facial expressions are going to be like that, then I'm fully on board. Stick with that going forward, man. Post-match, Bayley attacks Mella just to add insult to injury, but it's Naomi that makes the save, and Naomi is looking straight fire in there. Not just clear in the ring, which was just Bayley anyway, but she was looking like $1,000,000 in there. Naomi is just looking like that bona fide superstar. She's just missing one thing. Vince McMahon giving her a damn chance. Let's try that, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. McMahon. Is that what Hardy used to say? I forgot his whole fucking old character in TNA. McMahon, I think. I forgot what it was. But Naomi, man, she's just waiting for that push. She's back full throttle. She helped out Carmella. And this led to a decision being made that next week there's going to be a #1 contenders match. Mella versus Naomi one-on-one. The winner is going to take on Bayley at Super Showdown for Saudi Arabia on the 27th, Thursday afternoon, end of February. So we'll see what they're going to do with this title match. Are they going to make it a schmaz next week and it ends up being a triple threat? Remains to be seen. I don't know. I would love to see Naomi in there, though. And maybe even, I know I'm asking too much, maybe even collecting a championship in the future. And having a long, lengthy, badass run with it. I know I'm asking a lot here. Next up, Sheamus is in a handicap match, and he's defeating both a G that is short and Apollo cruising back to catering. That's right. Over the past couple of weeks, Sheamus has been making both a G that is short and Apollo cruising back to catering. He's been making them both look like jokes. Separately, why not put them together and make them look like one total complete clown show? Because that's what he did with the G that is short and Apollo cruising back to catering. Beat them both in one match. Great for Sheamus, I guess. I don't know really what it's doing. I'm not any more excited for Sheamus after he wins these nonsensical matches. So I'm not really sure what it actually is doing for Sheamus. And on the other hand, for the G that is short and Apollo cruising back to catering, they're both absolutely done right now. They're done. And again, I can't help but go back to when the boardroom meeting or the table, or maybe he pulled him into a janitor's room. But wherever Vince McMahon had the meeting with the G that was short, wherever he had a meeting with Chad Gable, and Vince McMahon sold Chad Gable on if he becomes a G that is short, he's going to have all of the assets he needs, all the tools he needs to get that rocket to the top. And poor Chad Gable was probably like, whatever you think is the best, Vince, I'll do it if you think it's going to help me. And Vince is like, yes, I see it now. You're going to be a short G. And he accepted it, and now look at the G that is short. He's a G that is non-existent right now. And Apollo might as well forget about cruising back to catering. He might as well just cruise back home. He's done. At this point, it's just collecting your paycheck. Unfreaking real. Oh, I'm sorry. Hour 1 actually ended with Hulk Hogan, the Immortal One. He does a promo from a little sit-down interview type style promo from his Hogan's Beach Shop. I don't know if this was his Orlando location or Tampa. I've been to his Orlando one. It looked like that, but it could have been his Tampa location. His Orlando one's beautiful. It's not that big in size, but it has so much memorabilia. If you guys are ever in Orlando for Universal Studios or SeaWorld or Disney World, any reason, I believe it's on International Drive. It's called Hogan's Beach Shop. You guys are going to fucking love it, man. It's like a little mini wrestling museum. Obviously, mostly Hulk Hogan stuff, but it just has a lot of cool shit in there, not just merchandise for sale. Anyway, that's a side note. I'm not getting paid anything by Hulk for that. I just really enjoyed it. I went in there to buy like a t-shirt and like chill for 20 minutes. 2 hours later, I ended up walking out. So it's really cool. Anyway, Hogan is in his beach shop. He's cutting this promo just on Goldberg, really. It's not even about Bray. He's just talking about Goldberg and his past with him. And how at Super Showdown, Bray Wyatt just better expect the very best out of Goldberg. But this leads us into a Firefly Funhouse NWO style. And Bray Wyatt comes on. He's playing the belt like it's a guitar, like Hulk used to do in NWO. And Wyatt says he's been saying his prayers, eating his vitamins, training, and look what it got him. And he shows the championship. He then feeds Huskus the pig a piece of chocolate and says, I hope it's not too sweet. So he keeps on doing these NWO puns that are kind of ticking off Hulk. So Hulk says this guy's got jokes. He's a real comedian, basically. And he says once Super Showdown arrives and you get in there with Goldberg, there aren't going to be any jokes. This kind of ticks off Bray Wyatt a little bit. And Bray Wyatt says, or Hulk says, good luck to Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt says, I don't need luck. I have a fiend. And he says, and Hulk, if you're not careful, there's always room for one more. And he shows the photo of Hulk, just like he has Kane and Danie Bryan and all the others behind him, like on his wall. He shows Hulk Hogan's mugshot now. And I thought that was just awesome, man, because it brought me back to if Hulk Hogan was in his prime. Could you imagine Hulk Hogan and Bray Wyatt having a feud? Could you imagine how epic that would be? It brings you back to a kid. And if you are younger and you haven't been able to see Hulk Hogan in his prime, man, do your research on the network. Because Hogan would sell heel characters like that beautifully. Because he was that ultimate face, that ultimate hero. And when you have somebody like Bray Wyatt destroying them, the possibilities. And we all know Hulk Hogan just had another back surgery. And this one wasn't just cosmetic or to walk a little better. This one was because Hulk Hogan is adamant on getting in the ring again. But we know that Vince doesn't want him wrestling a match. And I don't believe he should. I don't think Hulk Hogan can carry a match. I just don't. But Hogan wants to get physical again. So if he does, I'm just saying in the future, and if Vince allows it, let Bray Wyatt be the one to tool on him. Let Hogan really pass the torch to Wyatt. I think that would be pretty freaking cool. Not that Wyatt needs it. He's doing fine on his own. But man, I would love to see physicality between those two. Now that leads you to believe that Hogan would be in some way intervened with Goldberg and Wyatt on the 27th at Super Showdown. But we're hearing that because of the back surgery, Hulk might not be able to fly out that far. So we're hearing that he might not even be at Super Showdown anymore. And if you guys listen to the end of Hulk Hogan's promo, when he got pissed off when Wyatt said, you could be next, Hulk said, this is it, I'm done, and he rips the mic off. So Bray Wyatt pissed off Hulk Hogan. He rips the mic and he was done with the interview. And if you listen to Hulk's last words, he said, I'll see you in Tampa. He didn't say, I'll see you in Saudi Arabia. I'll see you at Super Showdown. He said, I'll see you in Tampa, which is WrestleMania. And that weekend, of course, he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame with the NWO. And we expect him to play a role at WrestleMania as well the following, that Sunday night. So it looks like Hogan is no longer a part of Super Showdown. That still remains to be seen. And maybe things can change. But that sucks, because if he was, he could have been intervened somehow with Wyatt and Goldberg. I wouldn't have minded that at all. But that was that segment, guys. And for an old school fan like yours truly, something simplistic like that sit-down one-on-one interview. Oh, man. Hogan, Wyatt, larger-than-life characters, talking that game, talking that trash. I absolutely love the end to hour number one. And it just, again, I just wish Hogan was in his prime still, man. Give me that for 6 months. I'll be totally happy with that. Hour number two, kicks off with Sami Zayn and Cesaro. Sami Zayn has a protest concert. Sami Zayn's middle of the ring with a tiny little guitar or ukulele, whatever you call it, man. But it's just, he's trying to throw some shade and some digs to Elias, obviously, but also it's Sami's quirky character too. So you believe that he would show up with this tiny little guitar. It was pretty funny, actually. But before he gets to play anything, Elias hits the ring and says he's also staging a counter-protest concert. So Sami goes to play anyways, but the crowd, guys, the crowd is legit insanely behind Elias at this point. To the point where Sami Zayn can't even spit out any lyrics. Sami Zayn can't even play anything. because the crowd is that much behind, that insanely behind Elias. A lot of good chance for Elias. They at one point showed a good aerial shot of Elias up on the ropes, and he's just reeling in the chants. And they're getting louder and louder, and Sami Zayn's getting more frustrated. And I'm just thinking, see? This is another mistake by Vince McMahon. Elias could have already been something huge in that company, but Vince wants to play that 50-50 booking scenario with him like he does so many others. Vince McMahon wants to give Elias a couple of feet and then take him back a mile. And this is what I mean. And he ruins people like Elias in the process, just like he did Braun Strowman and so many others. And you look at the charisma that Elias has, even with the way he's been booked for the years he's been there, he still gets that type of reaction. And you got somebody like yours truly watching this, and all these things are going through my don't be's because I saw this from the beginning, as I've told you guys in so many videos. I don't just speak for my health, I just don't speak on my thoughts or my opinions. I tell you guys the facts because they're playing out in real time. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize and see what's going on. I realized it from the jump. And now last night, everybody that tried to disagree with the Amplified Man on this subject, you were shown that I was right yet again. That's what Elias could be. Imagine if he got the right booking. Forget about it. Zayn and Cesaro start an attack on Elias because, again, they had enough. Strowman hits the ring to even the odds, and Elias and Strowman sent one of Sami Zayn's security guards flying across the country, no return trip needed. They're probably still trying to locate the security guard. They launched him, catapulted him over the top rope, and I think he landed across the country. It's absolutely amazing. It's awesome. That shows you the brute strength in Braun Strowman. So I didn't mind that segment at all, man. You had a little bit of comedy. You saw the superstar that Elias could be. And even Strowman, if given the opportunity to be something legit and not just a comedy act, you saw a lot of good things there, man. Now, moving on, I never thought I'd be that interested into someone else's date, but when it comes to Otis, I wanted full details. Otis walks into the restaurant, flowers in hand. He's about to have his date with Mandy Rose, and he sees Mandy sitting at the table with Dolph Ziggler, because at the last second, right before Otis walked into the room, Dolph intervened. Dolph pulled the swoop technique, pats Mandy on the shoulder, in one of those, oh, you're here too? May I sit type scenarios? Damn it, Dolph! Leave it to Ziggler to pull that swoop, man. Otis drops the 6 roses that he had gotten for Mandy, and this look of just distraught comes over his face as he walks away. And again, as I said at the top of the video, Dolph Ziggler, I believe, became the most hated, not heated. He got heat, all right. He became the most hated man in pro wrestling at that moment. We were all pulling for Otis, man. We thought Mandy was going to, somehow, Mandy was going to totally make Otis look like a clown, look like a fool. But no, never even made it to that point. Dolph Ziggler pulls the swoop move. We'll see where they go from there, man. But my heart broke for Otis on Valentine's Day, man. See where they go from there. Main event was Miz and Morrison taking on Roman Reigns and a mystery partner. Now, back in the day when they promoted a mystery partner, it was something really cool. It was somebody that's coming back from a long hiatus, or a superstar you haven't seen in a long time, or just somebody we're really like, whoa, that's a mystery partner. Last night, they brought out Danie Bryan. Now, you guys know I love Danie Bryan, one of my top superstars. When I think best wrestlers in the world, even though he's not necessarily in his prime anymore, and after that injury, he's still one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I'm always glad to see Danie Bryan, but you promoted this mystery. Why is he a mystery partner? He's part of the roster. And if he was at least coming back for the first time since Royal Rumble, since Bray Wyatt did what he did to Bryan at the Royal Rumble, and he's been gone since, okay, I'll cut you some slack on that rope. I'll totally give that to you. But you had him come back last week. So it's not even like he's coming back since Royal Rumble. He came back last week. He's once again a part of the roster. So does that mean that every time there's a tag team match, you could say one person is a mystery opponent? And you just pick them from the roster? That's not a mystery. He's on the roster. Just say it's Danie Bryan. You raise everybody's hopes for this because you know nobody wants to see another Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin type match, even though Corbin's not in the match. It's Miz and Morrison. But you knew Corbin was going to be there. In fact, at the start of this match, Corbin had a ticket and he sat front row for this match. So you knew he was going to intervene himself. And this is what I mean. Vince McMahon knows this. He knows that people don't want to keep seeing this. So he has to gain your interest. We'll make Danie Bryan. We'll take out his name and his face. We'll just call him Mystery Guy. He's a mystery partner. And then at the very end, we'll bring out Danie Bryan. The fuck? Seriously, man. That's not a mystery partner. Back in the day, a mystery partner meant something. Anyway, that's my gripe. Yes, I'm holding on to that gripe. That's not a mystery partner. He came back last week. He's on the roster. He's on the active roster. It's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. You're going to promote a mystery tag team partner? No way Jose's going to come out? Whoa, what a mystery! Not much to talk about here. It was a match with nothing intriguing on the line. The entire match was just to make Super Roman look, well, more super. And that's what it did. The finish saw Roman Reigns win the match. First of all, if you want the ending sequence, Roman Reigns totally missed a Superman punch. Totally missed it. And I'm not surprised. I've seen him do this a million times. But it was so bad that even Michael Cole had to make mention of it. So you know, if Michael Cole even had to mention it, you know that it totally was nowhere near the mark. And this led into a spear, and Roman Reigns wins the match. So they couldn't even have the mystery partner, the guy you hyped up the whole night. They couldn't even have him win the match. It's about making Roman look more super. And then after the match, they have Corbin jump in and jump Roman. Okay. And then immediately we go off there. Was any of it needed? To get us to a steel cage match at Saudi Arabia between Corbin and Roman, a match we've seen a million times and nobody wanted to see the first time. And that was SmackDown. I actually saw some good in last night's show, or shit that made me laugh at least, and shit that made me think at least. You know, I like the Otis and Mandy storyline. I like the Carmella and Bayley matchup. That was actually good. Obviously, goosebumps when I see Hulk Hogan and Bray Wyatt in there. So, saw some good stuff last night. It's just, when you're, even the Sami Zayn thing and Elias, I didn't even mind that. But when you constantly are pushing this Corbin-Roman thing, and it's clear that the majority of the fan base is just not into it, it's another Rusev-Bobby Lashley type thing. You have to know what works and what's not working. And when something is not working, you have to know that, you have to detect that, and then you have to put a stop to it somehow. Instead, the old man in Stamford, Connecticut is so stubborn that he doubles down, triples down, he puts all his chips into it. They're gonna like it one way or the other. And we're getting Roman winning this useless match to end the SmackDown show, and then Corbin's jumping him yet again. And it's yin-yang 50-50 booking, right? Last week or the week before, one of those weeks, you got them dumping dog food on Baron Corbin, and they're all posing like it's over. Right? It's over. Or was that before the Royal Rumble? I'm getting my weeks mixed up now because they're all leaking to each other. There's nothing different that makes me remember one week out of the other. The dude got speared on top of a dugout in a stadium. That's where this whole thing should have ended. Now we're going to Saudi Arabia for a steel cage match. What's going to happen next? At Elimination Chamber, there's going to be a Pit of Misery match. WrestleMania, Doomsday Death Match. Who knows? Where does it end? Merry-go-round. Around it goes. Where it ends, nobody knows. I just feel like at the end of the show should be something cool, something awesome, a cliffhanger, something that not only gets us interested in the moment, but makes us want to and need to tune in next week. You look at the ending of that SmackDown show and you're saying you need to tune in next week? Please, you're lying to yourself, not me. The Amplified Man, that was SmackDown for February 14th, 2020, Valentine's Day. And now we go into Monday Night Raw for Monday, and again, a no-holds-barred match. They're bringing back Matt Hardy after that Monday because Vince still has him under contract till March 1st. Now he sees the value, and he's going to utilize him as much. He's going to get every last bit out of Matt Hardy. So if Hardy goes to AEW, Vince McMahon's going to make sure he's limping into AEW. Unreal. The Amplified Man. For now. Wow. Coffees and ass whoopings. Check you later.